All right, so I know that Ryan is playing Amethyst Steel, a mid-range version, very much in the challenging version. He's got a couple spicy cards in this deck.
So you have like exert your guys to be able to.
Yes, so he's got one of the new Amethyst cards in the set.
The one with the dog with the broom in his
head. Yeah. So Lose the Way.
Yeah.
Lose the Way is a 2-cost inkable action that says exert chosen character, and then you can actually discard a second card from your hand and keep them stunned. So you can actually stun them down for an additional turn.
That is a power crept freeze.
That is a very, very power crept freeze. Yes, like, oh my god, power crept freeze. But this morning when Ryan sent me the list of cards he needed, I did not know what that card did. So it is what it is.
It's an action, not a song.
It is not a song, no. Okay. Just an action.
Is using just like 5-drop Elsa or Exert?
I'm not sure if I didn't see the whole deck list. I just saw the list of cards that he needed.
He's got to have it.
But we definitely have Calhoun's.
Okay.
You know, things like that.
Things like that. Things that want to challenge.
Probably, yeah. I know Calhoun was definitely a new card that we were looking for. Diablos. Nope, he got them all. We're good.
Oh, nice.
Didn't need anything from me.
Good.
Showed up early, picked up some product from the encounter. Again, shout out to the encounter. Comics and Games for hosting this event today, allowing us to stream. 49 registered players, which broke the rules.
Did break the rules.
Can only have 48 in the house. We played 49.
2 people showed up at once, I guess.
No, we just the buy was fine.
Oh, okay.
Means there didn't need to be at a table.
I can't see the 1 drop.
So it's a Diablo.
I saw that one.
And I'm not sure actually. It looks like they might have moved up a little bit. Because the glare is definitely not there last round, and now it is. So something has changed at least a little bit.
I can't see that at least.
Yeah, we might have to just ask them to slide down a little bit.
It's not a popsicle. I know that.
Yeah, nobody puts popsicles in the center of their table.
It's some character. I just don't know. It's got to be like it looks like a steel character. I can't really tell.
Sorry. So here is our exert your guy.
It's just an ink right now,
yeah. Yeah.
So Ryan plays with inkwell cards.
Yes, he uses ink tokens. We go to his Smee.
So we got super aggro starter, and he just doesn't care about it. I assume that character.
No, we never care about it. All right, we just gain lore.
I hear you. That's his job. I hear you.
Even at worst, it means my opponent cannot gain a lore next turn.
Right. I just have no idea what that card is.
Yeah, we'll figure it out in a second. Looks like we do take Diablo, which is great.
So it's a character of some sort.
It's definitely got stats.
It's probably a character that doesn't trade with, or may trade with me. I assume. Probably a 2/2 of some sort. Maybe it's a Robin Hood or something.
Yeah, I think that I really do. I think somehow they slid down the table a bunch. This is an Amethyst.
So it must be some steel.
It could just be a broom.
Oh, it could just be a Turnabout's fault.
Yeah.
Too, I guess. Yeah, it could be a broom too. You're right. It's not. I'm sure it's like a Turnabout.
Okay, so
that's me.
So we have a mirror.
So a mirror, yeah.
Amethyst steel mirror going on.
Did you get New England?
Can you can you just ask them to like I don't know like what happened, but we kept moving forward and now like we can't see the scoreboard. We can't really see the cards. I don't know if we have to slide back this way a little bit. It's just it's kind of all messed up now.
Okay. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm seeing like so his is all blurry now. We can't really see the other side of this. So I think it needs to
They need to be to Ryan's left.
Yeah, we need to slide towards camera, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like an inch or so. Honestly, you can take as much as they'll get, really.
So Smee gets in there, Fox goes in the Inkwell. What did he
He repeated.
Oh, Pete, okay. I couldn't tell what he played.
It looks like it was Maleficent. So Smee took out Maleficent.
Oh, 1 drop. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting, though, to trade 2 lore for the ability to take away the 1 lore from our opponent. It's not every day that a 1/1 gets to take out a character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
I guess he just figured the Maleficent trade was free.
Yeah. No, I mean it's fair.
Yeah.
You know, especially when we're on the draw and we're on the back foot and we gotta make sure our opponent doesn't go crazy. We can't just let Diablo gain 2, 3, 4 lore and then draw.
It's better. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a shame that the SME didn't get taken out by, but it does reduce his usefulness by at least a turn.
Did we?
There's 2 down.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this game is a little different, guys. Last game, the player on the right was green. This game, it's the player on the left. So we'll try and remember that as we go on ourselves.
Yeah, because Ryan
gained 1. And then
traded his SME into the Maleficent. So that's why he only has 1.
Yeah. PDP. Oh, did we miss a Friends, Judge?
Wow.
There was a Friends played on a Pete, and it was missed.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
what do we do?
yep.
We do what the judges are supposed to do. Randomly shuffle and put cards back.
Super rules enforcement. You just take it back.
I mean, in theory, they can make a decision if Nick is sure what his cards are. They can, they can decide it at this level, at this layer of tournament. It can be a choice. It can also be a choice that Ryan just says, "I missed my trigger." He gets it. He can also just say that.
Oh, I missed my feature?
Right, like Ryan can say that, in theory.
Okay.
I mean, I think that we're at this level of competition where Ryan's okay with that.
So
But
Ryan elected to say it is my fault
Yep.
for distracting them, and that is both players' responsibility, and he should have known better.
all right, there you go. That's
So,
fair. Yeah,
That sounds like a good.
I think Ryan just conceded to the fact that he's just not going to do it.
What do you pay for? Oh, goat. So goat, Pete, and then trade SMEs.
Yes. So in the end, we can blame Dick for
Yes.
making them move playmats.
Yes. I am the villain.
So both of these decks are a little more mid-rangey than like the typical version, right?
I mean,
More like
Rabbit's definitely not a card that's seeing play in most of these lists. I think Genie is on
If anything,
average being
Genie,
played
right?
more.
Yeah.
But it is day one. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we didn't get Genies yet or anything like that. We're just playing a more mid-rangey list. There's a strength. There's a fire. We'll
I
just
was
get
gonna
rid
say
of it.
there's only 2 guys.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, it's he inked a hook. Okay.
Then he played it.
Yeah, we get our favorite card in Shimmering Skies, Mr. Dockbold Knight. Ryan is, one of the advocates for this list. He's playing obviously a much different version of this now. He's trying out some different cards than Dick and I have been covering recently. But it's nice to have, another member of the team representing and trying out other cards, being able to report on those things and help us, really make that guide even better.
This is rough.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, turn 3, the idea that all we did was play Pete and kind of fell behind in tempo that way, fell behind further just because of where the game has gone now. It's definitely difficult.
Yeah, the player on the left, it's gonna be tough for him to come back from this.
Yeah, I mean,
He's playing 2 3s that don't even trade with a 3.
oh, and we got Pinocchios. We got all the tappers.
There's the other exert guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna trade Pete here, or is he gonna?
Yep.
Yeah.
Trades out of Pete, and then we still have Goat, Doc.
Yeah.
Hanging out. Does get the draw card from Rabbit. But yeah, this is very much a Calhoun's featured in this list, so it's very much I'm going to control the board pretty well. We're going to pick up a library. It's a great addition to this board.
Yeah, it's gonna find some more.
This is very close to the game is very over mode.
Yeah, even if the player on the left somehow has a way of coming back, it's gonna be tough. Like he
Yeah.
could play like a Tinkerbell now. It's gonna draw him a card. That's all I can think of that he could really need right now.
Tinkerbell, I mean, just grab your swords.
Yeah, either one.
It doesn't do enough. I mean, obviously it helps a little bit, but it's not great.
I think this has to be like a Tinkerbell.
There's a fairy ship.
Ooh, that means
And
probably
Ink?
not even playing Tinkerbell.
Maybe.
He did have rabbits. So
Yeah.
maybe more mid range.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so here's an Elsa.
Okay.
In this board state, yeah, just tapping Pinocchio and removing it. It also removes the ability to, we played a lot of games where Pinocchio gets put back in hands because of bounce package. So
Yeah.
getting rid of the threat, knowing that all the cards are equally worth 1 lore, this was a fine play. Also, we're evasive and we're protected. Not a lot of good ways to interact with this Elsa currently either. It looks like a Smee.
He's just gonna put all those guys. In
Yeah,
order.
this is what this deck does. This deck is very efficient at just saying, all right, I'm going to get to a point in the game where I'm going to have an 8 willpower location, and every one of my guys are being educated reading books.
Yes, that's true. So now anybody takes out is definitely.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you can even take out efficiently that doesn't trade?
The Pete.
Okay.
The Pete has,
Well, he has 1 damage on him.
Right. So the Pete has damage, which means you can take out Pete.
No, you trade with Pete.
No. No, you go to 4.
He Zeused the library. Which was
Okay.
pretty
All right,
good.
and he takes out. I mean,
Takes it out with Fox.
yeah, but now we just get to untap and
Right.
gain 5 lore.
Right.
Still a good threat.
Yeah, but at least now he might be able to
All right.
run out of
Picked up a
threats.
cannons. That's
Yeah.
nice.
He might be able to claw his way back in this game now.
Yeah. We're gonna go to 14.
Because Ryan's at the top, right? He has no hand.
It does not look like Ryan has a hand.
So he was all in on library and he found a good answer. Found multiple good answers.
Let me follow up. Yeah, I mean, next turn, now we have a way for Fox, Smee, and Elsa.
Yeah.
All to kind of clear out the board.
Yeah.
So right now, Ryan's definitely looking for either a second dock or a way to pick up this dock.
Yep.
Definitely was on the draw. So. Not exactly sure what that card is. The problem now that we might see here is that the list has a lot of cards that are saying, hey, I want to tap your guy down, I want to interact this way. But when you're trying to close out a game, those aren't necessarily the cards we want to play. Even here, so playing this hook is definitely like, hey, I'm just putting a lore in play.
Yeah.
But when knowing that we have Elsa can come in, take out hook. Fox can take out Doc, Smee can take out Goat, and then we can just be like, all right, now we've completely flipped this game upside down.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of non-questing lore game besides Goats that Ryan's playing.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any like gatherings or anything like that. I'm very fearful of like the next couple draws could just be cards that interact with challenging, and that's no longer what we want to do in the game. And that could just be showcasing like, hey, the version of this list that is trying to make challenge matters could run into these problems with closing out games. Yeah. There's your Elsa. Get rid of the first.
That's exactly what you said was going to happen.
Yeah. I think from here on out, you have to get rid of Doc. So the Smee trades in the Doc, and then I would just trade Fox into Goat. So I'd remove all, like basically any ways to threaten the game further is where I would be at. I'm not a fan of this play. I don't like leaving Goat because now Goat, if I pick up a snake here, it's like go to 15, play my snake, go to 16, play my Goat, go to 17. I'm just threatening, lethal in so many different ways.
Yeah, I agree.
So I much rather just would have traded my own character there and been comfortable with him having less outs to the game.
So I don't think his hesitation arrow has me that way he didn't draw a bounce. Oh, he did.
And there it is.
All right.
So Fox goes up to.
Does he have enough ink to replay?
It does look like it. Yeah, there's 4 there. Oh no. Okay.
That's the pile of ink tokens off this.
Yeah. But still, I mean.
But he's threatening to be at 18.
Right, and I really want to point out this play here by not. We did not quest, or we did not challenge with Fox, even though we could have. And it's very important here to note that in this deck, that happens very often. Putting a Fox into play to pick up my Goat or pick up a Doc just to leave him there to say, hey, this is a 4/3 that has not a lot of ways to interact with it, but it represents 1 lore. And 1 lore was more important there than challenging.
We just got Zeused.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, your opponent has to have that card. Otherwise, it represents 1 more lore, 1 more closer way to winning. Specifically when we have a Goat in our hand, and that Goat is representing 2 lore at all times.
Yes. So if he gets a bounce here like a snake,
yeah,
it could just be game.
Yeah. If any more bounce now is great. It's game winning. If there's not another answer to the Goat, then you're 1 card away again. But at this current lore total, any bounce means I win the game.
Yeah, because his opponent's not high enough to matter.
Yeah.
He can't win in 1 turn. He can win in 2 turns.
Calhoun's a very interesting card here.
Yeah. Calhoun also represents lethal.
Because now this represents lethal in a way that's actually very difficult to deal with.
I think he has, as long as he's removed the hand, it's fine, which looks like he does.
Yeah, but we've used 2 Zeuses already.
Yeah. He's got some.
It's just friends. We're just drawing cards. Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure if we found an answer. This just might be check here. The irony here is that the out on this turn would be Quest with Genie because it has evasive,
Yeah. Quest
And
anyway,
then-
they can
and
not as
then-
evasive.
and then do nothing.
That is
So that would give me to. Problem is we're not high enough lore to do that. We'd have to somehow be able to gain the additional lore this turn and then have enough to win next turn. And on top of that, hope our opponent doesn't draw a way to pick up or exert a character. Any of those things.
Yeah. No idea.
It was a pickup, so it was
Okay.
just interesting.
Oh, I don't think that. Why wouldn't you use the Calhoun?
You don't have there's not an efficient way.
Yeah, you use the Elsa.
The Smee, no, the Elsa doesn't kill it. Resist one, buddy.
Oh, resist one.
You could have exerted it and took out the Smee. I think that you can make this play and utilize. I mean, I guess that's okay. You could have also just utilized Elsa and Genie if you wanted to. But is there something? I don't know. Is that another Genie up there? Might be two
It
Genies.
must be something with evasive.
I think it might be a second Genie that's up there.
I don't know what the card at the top is.
If this is anything that taps something down, we win the game. Oh, we just win the game. Yeah. Nick just missed the play. He just didn't see it.
Okay.
So yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but anything that says I win the game means I win the game.
All right.
That's what happened there. Yeah, it might have just been a clear miss on the. That's interesting. There's a John Silver there, but I only saw a fairy ship. Interesting choices.
What are these records? 2-0 both?
These are both 2-0 players. Yes. I believe this is one of the top tables. This was table 2. Yep.
There is benefit in your opponent not knowing what card to play.
I mean, we say this all the time. You know, we said it in a bunch in round 1 actually with Go-Go. There was a line. Yeah, no, yeah. Like there was a line that said, "Hey, should I popsicle my Maui so my opponent can't gain lore from Go-Go?" And it's a play that last week you would never have to make. You would never have to think about it.
Yeah.
So opening weekend, as we're going through those learning of lessons, it is one of those. Sadly for Calhoun, that one's a little more obvious. Like that card's in play, we can pick it up, we can read it, we can look at it. So it's really just a reminder to yourself, like, hey, if you're not exactly sure what a card does, there's a lot of text on Calhoun. It's definitely worth picking up and reading just to be sure.
So if he elses the Calhoun and takes it out with 2 characters, he's safe, except for co-bounds.
Yeah. I mean, even if we just didn't exert a character that wasn't
Yes.
we just could have left them up.
Yeah.
So the fault was leaving a character that could be challenged by Calhoun. Period. But yeah, you could have just exerted Calhoun and then ran Smee into it, and then it would have been kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So now Nick's on the play.
Nick is on the play. Yes.
And Logan 5, it looks like 6 now.
That's a lot. It
6,
looks like 6 is a healthy number. So again, this is round 3. Both players are 2-0 in this tournament. 49 players in Counter Comics and Games. Huge shout out to them for allowing us to host today. Have fun. Explore set 6 on day 1. Very excited to play with new cards. At this point, we're normally going to a DLC and not allowed to play with new cards. So it's nice to be able to play with our new cards in week 1 for sure.
Have you seen a bunch of new cards on camera?
Yeah, I mean, Go-Go is very well featured. Maui Shark was very well featured. Lots of new cards for sure.
That's a hook, I think.
Genie, yeah, that was Captain Hook. Genie, definitely a focus today. Obviously, we just seen Calhoun win a game. So yeah, there's definitely been some impactful cards winning games. All right, there's Diablo.
Not as strong on the draw.
I mean, hey man, it still reads gain a lore, draw a card.
And your opponent basically loses.
Yeah, yeah.
That's more.
I mean, having Maleficent on one would have been way nicer than having Hook on one. And no follow up, no fire the cannons.
Nope.
Missing out.
I mean, the path is still pretty clear. You can still fire the cannons on this turn. That's me.
Yeah, true. So I will say the one thing about this particular list that likes challenging early, the Diablo on the draw is worse because there's a bunch of cards that we have. We have Pinocchio that could have been able to trade if we had a better one drop. We have the action that we were talking about earlier, Lose the Way, I believe it was what it was called. So without that, all those cards on turn 2 that we're looking to use, even this is quite interesting. So we can give our Cogsworth. I think he targeted itself, but then we're just passing.
Ryan's hand seems horrible. It's like having all his enablers without any payoff, in a way.
Very true. Yeah, and in this round we have two honestly very different Amethyst steel decks.
I assume that's a library.
I'm not exactly sure.
I
think it looks like library. It costs 3. I believe it's an Amethyst card. I think it is a good library. This is definitely a good turn to just pass, which is what happens. I think that library is going to stick for sure. Not a lot of good ways to interact with the library on turn 3.
Cogsworth and
I don't think it's going to get there.
I mean, a fox can do some work here, which I assume is what's happening.
Even a crab is fine.
He inked a fox last
Oh,
turn,
okay.
but I have to assume he has another one because I can't imagine he would have inked like
It's-
being this far behind on board.
We saw round 1, Ruby Sapphire lose to a more aggressive Emerald Amethyst list and a 2-1 set. Did lose both games on the draw. That is relevant. But that's the only Ruby Sapphire. We also saw Ruby Sapphire. Man, Ruby Sapphire's not doing too well today on the stream. We saw Ruby Sapphire lose in round 2 against a Sapphire Amethyst deck as well. So Pete's good, right? Pete's a nice way to reestablish the board a little bit. It is very interesting to me.
Can you use this on a wet character?
No,
I didn't think so.
No.
But it doesn't say the character gains exert. It just says you may exert it.
you can't exert any character without
Okay.
with that ability. Yeah.
Okay. Because Elsa says activate exert an opposing character.
That's different.
Yeah, but it's worded weird.
Yeah.
I ruled it the way.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, obviously. But then it was there was no clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's been ruled that way too.
Yeah.
To avoid confusion. Yeah.
So I like the Pete here. Establish some strength in play.
I mean, it's the largest character.
And it turns songs off for the turn. And there's a good chance that this turn could have been that. But this is also great. I would love if there was a third 1-drop. That would have been the most ideal turn.
Yeah, that was a.
This happened in both games so far. In both games, Nick had to kind of take a turn off. Paying 2 to move our guys there is nice, but there are several outs now to removing this library, so it might end up being okay. I think my favorite out to the library currently would be Fox pick up my Cogsworth, and then my Cogsworth can take out Maleficent. I really love that line.
Well, and you put a damage on the library.
Well, yeah, you double tap with Cogsworth and Pete, and then you get to Fox your Cogsworth. But we're just gonna do it the hard way. It's fine. But that Maleficent now gets to draw a card.
What are those?
I didn't see it actually. It's LeFou. He played LeFou's. Okay, so we get to trade in. We get a lot of tempo now. LeFou, for anyone that does not remember what this card does, It's a 3 cost. I believe it's a 2/3.
2/3.
And then you can play the character for free if a character was banished in a challenge this turn. So that turn was kind of insane. We just played 9 ink worth of cards on turn 3. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is also, why Ryan's list is playing cards like Strength of a Raging Fire, cards like Friends on the Other Side, I believe, as well. Because getting these characters in play, establishing that much, tempo is pretty massive in turn.
What's funny is he still can't take out the library. Even though,
No, he put a bunch of damage on it last turn.
Oh, okay.
He had a crab last turn. Crab and a pea, put 6 on it. So
Okay. So that's
it'll get finished off this turn.
No, you're fine.
Not that matters.
There are 2 LeFous in play.
Yeah.
Ryan
Both
is-
on Ryan's.
Ryan is so happy.
Yeah. Well, he played 3 against.
I heard.
Okay. I was thinking.
He has like no ink.
He's 3 ink. I mean, that's okay. Honestly, really, this is nice. So we get to sing. Yeah, again, so this is why we're playing Strength of a Raging Fire, things like that. We get to just clear out the whole board, quest away. Really, what Ryan desperately needs is his own library, or a dock would have been really nice there. If there was a dock as the final card, that would have been phenomenal.
How did the tournament take it? Wasn't
Fire the Cannons.
Oh,
Ryan and is it Anthony or is it?
It's Nick.
Wrong. I'm really bad with
We just have Beast. That's pretty good.
no, I'm gonna send you these. I mean, unless there's like another fire thing.
I see a library.
That's weird. Who said this?
We just drew a library.
Ryan's on?
Yeah, Ryan drew a library. I think Nick is on 6 and not 9, but I keep getting confused by it.
6 would be 2. I even think 6 seems like
Ink,
a lot.
and then put our Diablo there.
No, there's a goat. There's no library.
No, he just played library. See?
Oh,
He
okay,
inked the goat.
okay.
That's his inkwell up there that he puts
Okay.
his discard
Oh,
pile
okay,
in.
okay.
Put his crab there. Interesting. I guess that makes the most sense. Like, if we're going to get rid of a card, getting rid of crab makes the most.
I mean, do you trade with the Diablo here and take no damage, or do you just take damage here and accept that Beast is only going to take out 2 guys, and that's enough?
There's a world where putting damage on to remove a character is okay. If we need to get rid of this library, there's just not a good way to do it.
He did exactly what I was saying.
Um,
Just take the no damage trade and be obsessed with drawing cards.
yeah, which
Which I
hey,
think is a mistake.
it's fine. It just depends on if we have a good way. Like, oh, that was weird. I thought he said like go. I was like, what? I was like, he paid 2 and then just said go. Like, that's not good.
He still has 4 ink, 2 cards this turn. He needs to have more outs to these 2/3s or 3/3s.
Yeah. And Elsa wouldn't really do anything. Not very
No.
strong. Realistically, establishing a Tinkerbell would be very nice right now, but we're past that a little bit.
So like we're at like play random 2 drops.
Looks like we're paying 3. Just depends on. All right. I mean, we had to draw more cards. If we can follow up with a 1-drop just to get another character in play, would have been fine. But no follow up there. That's a fairly weak turn.
Yeah, I think
I think that is either a second library or a castle now. It's a second library.
the Beast not being able to get bigger is going to do.
Cogsworth giving himself rush and putting him in the library just to turn off is interesting, but it also, I mean, with the second library, I don't even know that I care.
I think he gave it to himself. Yeah, and then he gives him Giant Rush.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's going to trigger there. He's going to draw a
Draw
card.
Yeah.
Then he's going to
Move
pay
him.
1. He should most likely pay 1 to move him.
Yeah.
Right. So we pay 1 to move him. We're going to draw first. Okay. Getting more information first is nice. You never know what else we might pick up along the way. Does end up being that. So we'll pay 1 more, move.
He's a 4/1 off.
Yep. giant Cogsworth, draws additional cards.
Did you draw the extra?
He did. This is actually kind of an interesting play. We could actually snake, pick up our LeFou, and then play it for free.
There you go.
That's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
That's kind of cool.
Nick was a LeFou.
Yeah,
A Ruby one.
yeah. Yeah, it is kind of cool.
Wow, that is a great interaction.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did he pick up with Snake?
He didn't. He yanked it. Just moved 2 guys.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Library.
that's right.
He
That's
played
right.
Tournament
Yeah,
Box
that's
Flowers
fine.
and moved all of
Yeah.
his available characters.
I love this. This is a great board position now. Just shows how powerful Library is in this deck, and it's 8 willpower for 3 ink, gain a lower turn, and just draw cards consistently. Very, very good against steel matchups. So we do find a way to Zeus and tap its me to get rid of the Library. It's a lot of equity in removing that card.
Ryan's at a pretty low lore total considering.
Yeah, he had to play control for the beginning of the game. He was also on the draw.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And in the end, LeFou's are 1 lore characters, not 2 lore characters.
Lived beyond turn 6, so my combo deck actually combo. Crazy. Who'd have thought?
So now the board's
it was
pretty.
a combo deck versus a combo deck, so there was no interaction between our decks. We both just
Yeah, it's a little more
did our
close
thing.
affair.
We did our own thing.
Lore's 6-all, but I'm sure Nick has a
ignored each other's
massive hand
cards,
in it.
and
I think it's closer than we think.
This deck is garbage.
Might be
It's
like
coming apart.
4-3 or 5-3. Friends on the other side is wonderful. So we can.
Using LeFou.
So we picked up a 3rd. I think now we have 3 libraries, but moving Chernobog here.
And drawing 2. Or no?
I think I would just leave it in play and draw and make my opponent run Fox into it, because if it runs Fox into my Chernobog follower, then it's not running into my library. So I think either way, you're going to end up getting this card, or at least forcing your opponent into having something specific. I bet we found a cannon, so who cares? Looks like we have another Chernobog follower as well, so we might just ink.
You drew a lot of cards this turn pretty efficiently.
Yeah. Friends, library, all cards that just enable these lines of plays. This is a pretty tough ink here. There's a world where no, I think you definitely are inking, but there is a world like I think most people would probably ink library in this position, and I think it's in some ways okay, but I think next turn establishing a second library, putting that much willpower in play against a snake deck or against a steel deck is just gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna gain 2 lore a turn, and that's with 16 willpower. It's a slow burn, but it's a way to win the game.
Ink the brunette guy.
Yeah, that's the action.
Yeah. So then playing 1 plus pretty much free.
Yeah. And I do like establishing the board. We have yet to see a Tinkerbell. We've yet to see like grab your swords. We have yet to see anything that would interact in a negative manner to that. But there is a world where like, hey, just put a character in like play 1 ink, put LeFou there. This way you have like a weird conditional out to Fox like this. I do think that Fox, like taking out LeFou here is worse. If we had just moved it, we'd have drawn the card. We probably would have forced Fox into the library instead of our character. So there's kind of choices there.
And that LeFou was it library or was not?
It was not.
Okay.
No.
So are we at Chernobog draws 2 again? Or same decision as last time?
There's a lot of cards in hand, so it's more difficult to say now. I do think that this Cogsworth is wonderful. Again, we just get to pick off a Fox for 1 resource. So I think that's probably where we're starting.
Yeah.
Paying 1, put a Cogsworth in play, give it rush, and then put that in there. And this is like effectively a Chernobog.
Yeah.
And we get to remove the 4/3. And I think now I'm very much just, hey, I'm going to put my guys in library. I'm going to turn them sideways. I'm not going to cash in Chernobog's followers this turn.
Yeah, I would agree.
You need to just force your opponent to just have answers.
So just keep everybody alive.
Yeah, just put these guys in the library, turn them sideways, gain some lore, and say, all right, if you have an answer to my turn bug now, I draw one less card, but my library lives another lore and lives another turn. This is just such a tough position for Nick here. It looks like the Smee he picked up last turn, followed by a castle. That's just, ugh. It's not the greatest turn there. Could turn some stuff around, but my guess is we're gonna untap, we're gonna gain a lore, and then we're gonna quest for 3, go to 16, play a bunch of dudes, put them in the library, and say check.
Yeah. That was full over. So he is catching in the turn.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that.
I mean, I guess he figures anything he plays is just going to have a bigger threat. But I don't know, like
I
2 more
just-
characters or something.
just
They're all
wanna-
gonna be on library.
I just want to put 2 guys into play and keep my guys to play, make my opponent have answers. I don't need any more cards to win this game.
He has a go. So
Yeah, so it just goes to 18. Yeah, and then there's the handshakes.
Yeah, Nick's deck was just playing 1 card a turn. You can't win when you play 1 card a turn against decks like this.
I would love
We have a
to.
lot of discussion about that. That's something that we really need to beat into people's heads is the importance of if you're just playing 1 card a turn, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, like there's a lot of talk.
It's kind of-
Last week the video on the YouTube channel about the Amethyst Steel aggro deck, and even if like we look at Ryan's list there and how it's not necessarily an aggro deck, it still is utilizing its resources to play as many cards in a turn as possible. And cards like Castle, they look great, they read great. They're like, oh, I have 2 lore, oh, I can draw additional cards, but they cost 4 and they do nothing the turn you play them. And they require your opponent to enable it to even do anything. Whereas when you're behind in a game, a library on turn 4 represents, I'm going to put 8 willpower into play. I can move a guy to it. I can then take out their dude. I can draw a card immediately. And now I have an 8 willpower thing that sticks. That 1 ink is huge. It's a huge difference. The lore is not as important if every card in your deck just reads cantrip. Every card in your deck just reads, I'm gonna continuously flow through my deck, pick up cards, draw cards, and put threats into play the entire time. And I think that's the biggest fundamental difference of the understanding of how the resource system works for this deck in general.